Hey, what's up, folks? I was just going to say, well, a couple things. First of all, it's been quite some time since I've made a video, and one of the reasons for that is I've been kind of busy. It's summertime, and as many of you who watch my channel may know, in addition to being a tarot reader, I'm also an herbalist, and since it's summer, there's a lot going on in the garden, and I'm harvesting and growing and creating and, having all kinds of fun times with that stuff. But then I've also sort of just felt like I haven't had a lot to say. The end of June, I was ready to do my June wrap up, and I had some decks out, and I just never got around to it. It just didn't feel pressing. And I just thought, well, I guess if I don't have anything startlingly interesting to say, maybe I should just stay quiet. The other thing I wanted to mention is, for some reason, my almost 1-year-old puppy, Luna, the Dutch Shepherd, has been barking a lot today. So you're probably going to hear some barking at some point during the video. I just don't know what to say about that. So, as I said, in addition to being a tarot reader and having a passion for tarot and oracle cards, I'm also an herbalist. And again, because it's summertime, I've been kind of much more focused on that part of me than on the card reading part of me. So there's a couple of reasons for that. One is, as I said, it's the growing season, and harvesting. We had like a pretty warm spring, and so stuff started to come into bloom and ready for harvest earlier than normal. So usually my beach rose petals, which I use to make rose petal elixir, they aren't ready until the beginning of June. But this year I started the harvest of them the end of May. So I had a bumper crop of roses this year. I use Rosa rugosa, beach rose petals, and I harvest them fresh every day that they're available. And I add them to food grade, organic, kosher vegetable glycerin, and they stay infused in that medium for 6 to 8 weeks. And I know when they're ready because I can see that the color from the rose petals has infused into the vegetable glycerin, and the petals of the roses turn from a bright, beautiful pink to a real pale, soft pink. And then the glycerin goes from clear to a beautiful, bright pink. And this is something that is heart healing on a metaphysical level and a physical level. Roses are cooling, calming, healing, anti-inflammatory, heart medicine. But they also work to heal and calm and soothe the metaphysical heart. So this remedy it's just a beautiful, beautiful remedy. And I just wish I could give it to the world. I feel like right now there's a lot of anger. I don't know about other countries, but here in the United States, it just seems like there's a lot of angry people. And I'm thinking people need rose petal, rose quartz, rose tincture, rose glycerin, rose tea. So rose is sort of the herb of the hour, or one of them anyway, for sure. So I've been making that, and as I said, I had a bumper crop this year, so I have a lot of rose petal elixir. I just drained off a couple days ago the first batch, and I'm going to start sending that out to my pre-orders, and then I'll be ready to take other folks' orders as they come in. So I've been busy with all of that. And then I'm also, well, I guess one of the things I wanted to mention too was I'm a small batch herbalist. So I just make things in small batches, anywhere from like maybe 20, maybe even 10 things in a batch to 25, 30, or 40 at the most. I do get a lot of dried teas and make a lot of teas, so those are sort of endless. And I make face cream and body butter and foot powder, but I make them in small batches. They're full of ingredients that you know. I don't use preservatives other than maybe some vitamin E. So you know what's in these products and you know how they're made. And I use them myself and have been for 30 years or more. And I love doing it. It soothes my heart and soul. So you will see from time to time on Instagram, I might post that I have a small batch of face cream, or I have a small batch of body butter, or you will be now seeing I have a small batch of rose petal elixir. But in addition to that, I'm also taking a course. It's an 8-week course. It started the last week of June and goes into mid-August. And it's called Cooling Inflammation. And it's being taught by Rosalie de la Forêt. And she's an herbalist out of Oregon. And this course is wonderful. We just finished week 4. So we're just at the midway point. And it's all about how to deal with chronic inflammation using herbs and other dietary means. And so it is definitely an herbal course, and we are learning a lot about herbs, but we're also learning about steps to wholeness. And that's really my philosophy as an herbalist, is healing the person, body, mind, spirit, all our different levels of our bodies, so that we as people can become whole. So it's about becoming whole, healing into wholeness. And that's always been my philosophy as an herbalist. And I tend to be attracted to other herbalists as teachers who also embrace that philosophy. And Rosalie does, for sure. So the first meeting of our class, she introduced 6 plant allies that are anti-inflammatory. And she asked us, or invited us, to choose one of those 6 plant allies, anti-inflammatory plant allies. They have other properties too, but what connected them together was that they're anti-inflammatory. And to work with that plant ally over the 8 weeks of the course, and beyond if we were so called to do so. And I thought that was really kind of brilliant. The 6 herbs were, let's see how good my memory is. The 6 herbs were, there were 3 kind of Ayurvedic and 3 more Western. So the Ayurvedic herbs were Tulsi or holy basil, ashwagandha, and turmeric. I think everybody knows that turmeric is anti-inflammatory. And then the 3 Western herbs were nettle, hawthorn, and lemon balm. And I am working with a couple of those, or already was working with a couple of those herbs, kind of dabbling, not deep diving, hawthorn and ashwagandha. So I decided to pick lemon balm, even though I feel like for my heart healing, I should go with the hawthorn, but I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to go with lemon balm because it's growing profusely around me. So I can pick it. I already make a lemon balm glycerin. I just earlier spoke to you about rose glycerin. And I make a lemon balm glycerin. So I already had some of that. And of course I can grow it. I'm growing it so I can make the tea fresh. What Rosalie wanted us to do was to explore different ways of working with the herbs. So as I said, I have the lemon balm glycerate. I've been making fresh herbal tea with it. My next idea is to dry some and then make a dried tea so I can see if it tastes different or if it has a different effect on my body. And I'm going to make, I just started a lemon balm oil because lemon balm is antiviral, and I want to make a salve or a lip balm so that for people who get herpes cold sores. So I'm going to try that. I, knock on wood, luckily do not have that issue, but I know a lot of people who do, so I figured, well, I'm going to just see what it's like. I might even make a body butter with the lemon balm oil. I'm not sure, but that's kind of a work in progress. When I get to know an herb, I like to smell the herb. And of course, when you crush lemon balm leaves, it has this beautiful citrusy lemony scent. So there's that. I like to touch the herb, and lemon balm leaves are a little bit fuzzy-ish. I like to kind of sit with the herb and look at its stem, look at its color, look where it grows, look how its leaves form. Does it flower? What do the flowers look like? The lemon balm in my yard is just starting to flower, and it has sort of little teeny flowers that are not super showy. I usually like to harvest it before it flowers. So I did cut mine down quite a bit to dry and use for tea and in my oil. And I'm hoping I'll get a second crop at the end of the summer. One of the things I learned so far about using lemon balm as my ally, as to explore as a plant ally, is that I was steeping the tea too long and too strong. So Rosalie was talking about starting with small doses and then going up. So I started the lemon balm steeping it for 10 minutes instead of like an hour, 2 hours, 8 hours. And that tea is so much more lovely in terms of its taste and its flavor. It does not have as big a physical impact when it's not steeped as long. But what I've been finding is rather than drinking 1 mug or cup of super strong, not so great tasting lemon balm, what I'm really enjoying more is drinking several cups of lemon balm tea a day, steeped for like 10 minutes or 15 at the most. And it tastes so lovely. And I'm drinking it hot, I'm drinking it room temperature, I'm drinking it cold out of the fridge. So it's been really fun. And I've really been enjoying exploring lemon balm, and I have 4 more weeks to do so. And I probably will continue to work with lemon balm. I do use dried lemon balm in several of my tea blends. And speaking of anger, lemon balm is a nervine, and it calms the nervous system. And I have been noticing that lately I've been just getting so easily frustrated and easily sparked over stupid things. Like I dropped a pen and I get mad. Like, really? You dropped a pen? Big deal. And so lemon balm is kind of helping calm and cool and relax and tone my nerves and my nervous system. So that's what I've been doing herbally, and I've been enjoying it, and it's been taking up quite a bit of my time, but I'm quite happy with that. I like spending time in my garden. I like spending time with the plant spirits. I'm so excited about taking this herbal course and learning a lot. The second week, I think it was the second week, we did digestion, and what Rosalie's been doing after we picked our plant ally, every week she's doing a different system of the body. So, and then with those systems, she's doing invitations. So like with the digestive system, she had a number of invitations. And one of them was to look at your fiber intake and increase it or change it. And I decided to go with that invitation. I looked at my fiber intake and it was abysmal. I was in shock. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anywhere near enough fiber. And fiber is really a critical component to having a healthy digestive system. And if we don't have a healthy digestive system, the whole body's going to run amok. So that's the one I've been working on for digestion. So that, as I said, is where I'm at with all my herbal stuff. I'm really having a great time with it, making products, taking the class, interacting with the plant spirits. It's been great. Speaking of which, I've got some herbal tea here. These are fresh herbs that I just picked. So for the first time in a really long time, I was around a group of people several times all day long, a couple evenings. My in-laws were up, multiple of them, cousins, sisters, everybody, were up here on the Cape for a week. And so we had not seen some of my family for 2 years. Because of the pandemic. And so it was just wonderful. Everybody's vaccinated. So that was great. But guess what? I'm getting a cold. The first cold I've had in 2 darn years. So I'm trying to fight it off. I have a little bit of a scratchy throat. So I have lemon balm. It's antiviral. I don't know if it'll help with the colds or what, but I had some, so I threw it in. Sage. Sage is a specific for sore throats. So I have sage, lemon balm, thyme, rosemary, and holy basil, tulsi, which is another herb I like to grow and work with. And I put in some lemon balm elixir and some tulsi elixir and a little bit of local honey. So we'll see if this helps. I made a couple batches. One I steeped for just 15 minutes and the other one I'm steeping for like several hours. And I will just be drinking this all day long. So thanks to my niece for bringing a cold from New York. We're all real happy about that. But, colds come with people, right? So that's the way it goes. So in July, I decided to sign up or work with a tarot challenge by healer Josephine. This is Josephine Hardman. Her Instagram is healer.josephine. And she does tarot challenges, I think, every month. And I like how she does it because she just has the prompts on the odd days. So that way, if you miss a day, you don't get like way behind. You have a day to catch up. And this month, for July, it's the Sacred Paws Tarot Challenge. And so I had decided to work with, before I even knew about this challenge, I had decided to work with a tarot deck that, for me, really is a summer deck. I don't know why, but this deck I'm always drawn to work with in the summer. I might not work with it all year round, and then summer rolls around and I'm like, ooh, the 5th tarot. And so this is the 5th tarot, restoring the 5th element, which is spirit. So this is a tarot deck that has majors. It has the 4 minors. They use the elements for the suits. And then the 5th suit is spirit, which they call lotus. They changed some of the names of the majors and they changed the court cards. So let me talk a little bit about the court cards first, because I think it's pretty interesting. The creators are Martienne and Teresina Bacons. And Teresina is also the artist. So here's what they say about the court cards. Traditionally, they were named court cards after the medieval courts and were depicted as king, queen, knight, and page. In the fifth tarot, the court cards are positioned slightly differently. A court also refers to an entryway or gateway into a prominent building. Here, the court cards are gateways for mastering the elements and attributes of each suit, and as such are designated as seeker, initiate, apprentice, and elementor. So I just pulled out randomly. So this is the seeker of lotus. So that would be like the page. Initiate. This is the initiate of shells. So that's the water suit. And that's the knight. Apprentice of fire. So that's the queen and wands. And they're not really, I'm translating them, but I'm not sure they're 100% translatable. And then here we have the elementor of stones. So that's the pentacles or earth. I really like this deck. The artwork, it's okay. It's fine. There's some cards I love the artwork on, and then some that just feels a little off for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just me. It has a great guidebook. There's like pages. Let's see, each card has 1, 2, 3, a minimum of 3 pages. And they talk about the card itself, and then the divinatory meaning, and then they have an application or a ritual. Excuse me. My summer cold, a little sneeze there. Or a ritual or an application for the card. This deck, this guidebook is, I'm not sure how to describe it, but I guess for lack of a better term, it's a bit on the new agey side. So if you don't like that stuff, you probably wouldn't like the deck. I'm not always into that, but some stuff I read in this guidebook, I'm like, oh, wow. It's just so enlightening and feels really healing. So I thought I would just show you a few of the cards, and you can see for yourself. It is quite glossy, the stock. So this card I pulled quite a number of times. The 7 of feathers, so that's air or swords, balance. Here's the shell. Sorry, I got to do this way. So, this is 4 of fire. So on the minors, there are keywords. And again, if you don't like keywords, you're not going to like that. I love this. This is 9 of shells, gratitude. But I think it's kind of a little bit of a nod to the Golden Dawn and Rider-Waite-Smith, because oftentimes the 9 of cups is called the wish card. So there we see the genie in the bottle there that we would rub. This is celebration, or the 3 of cups, but you know, it's very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Same with this one. This is the 10 of pentacles, and we see that tree of life there, the Kabbalah. This is a suit of lotus. Here's a major. I just kind of randomly pulled some cards out. Magician, seeker of shells. There's the emperor. I like that because you don't always see the emperor as sort of nurturing. And you see the children there kind of hugging him, and he's protecting them and sending out his light to them. So I kind of like that. He's grounded on the earth. He's kind of part of the tree. So I like that rendition. Empathy, 2 of lotus. I love this moon card. Unconditional love is the 10 of cups or 10 of shells. Whoops. So you can get a little sense of the artwork. Oh, here's the Empress. And High Priestess. I thought I'd pull out the Sun because, you know, we just started Leo. And I think this is my favorite, or one of my favorites. So this is the Six of Stones, and it's compassion. And I think it's interesting because when I think of the Six of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite-Smith, I have a big problem with that card. So many people just say, oh, generosity, sharing. And it's like, yeah, but the guy made him kneel to get the handout. I don't like that. So I like this idea of instead of thinking of, you know, giving people a handout or throwing them some crumbs, let's have some compassion and, you know, bring our hearts into the idea of giving and generosity. So I used that for the first half of the challenge. And halfway through the challenge, I got a new Oracle deck. It's called the Earthcraft Oracle. It's a Hay House deck. And the authors are Juliet Diaz and Lorianne Anderson. And they are the creators of the Season of the Witch Oracle. I think Samhain was their first one, and the next one they're going to come out with is Yule. And the artist is Danielle Voodoo Fortune. And this is a Hay House deck. So this is an Oracle deck that is created by all women of color and has a mix of folks, but primarily women of color. There are a couple cards with men, and there are a couple of folks who, you know, look like they could be white. And I think I talk a lot about the importance of inclusivity and diversity in our decks. At least for me, I can only speak for myself. I am not trying to judge. I don't want to tell you what kind of decks you should buy. But for me, I'm giving Rider-Waite-Smith a pass, and some of the earlier decks a pass because of where and when they were created. But now in the 21st century, I just don't see any reason for having decks that aren't inclusive. And by inclusive, I mean different skin tones, different body types, different, more than just binary gender. So I guess I should say non-binary gender expression. Folks, same-sex couples on cards, you know, older people, younger people, you know, just what we all look like, who we see in our daily life, who our families are, who our friends are, who we are. So that's important to me. So that's why I got this deck. End of lecture. I just pulled a couple cards. This one I've pulled several times, so I thought I'd show that one. These are the card backs. It's the cardstock is matte. It's a little cardboardy. It's a little hard to shuffle. This is the Gatherer. So this is the card on the cover of the deck. Sacred Temple. Death. So it isn't all, you know, light, love and light. There's challenging cards too. Spiritual Journey. You Are Sacred. Warrior Woman. Inner Healer. Spirit of the West. So there's Spirit of the East, Spirit of the South, Spirit of the West, and Spirit of the North. So all of the directions are included. And one of the things I particularly liked about this deck is the creators have associated the directions with the same elements that in my spiritual practice. So I affiliate or associate or correspond air to east, fire to south, water to west, and earth to north. And that's what you can see here, west, and we see the water. Ceremony, Karmic Debt, and Soul Loss. So these are sort of a couple of challenging cards, and then Balance. So I got that deck in, and I thought, okay, I want to use this. But it reminded me, for some reason, a little bit of the artwork in, I don't have the book, the Numinous Tarot. So halfway through the Sacred Paws challenge, I thought, ooh, I think I'm switching decks now. I really do. I think it's my Sanguine and Aries, Jack of all trade, Master of none's personality, Master of none personality, that makes it hard for me to stay with the whole deck for a month. Sometimes I do, but you know what? I just go with what I feel like. If my heart says, or my feelings, or my brain, whoever says, whatever part of my body says, hey, what about this deck? I go with it. I don't say, oh, well, you know, I said 5th tarot for July. I just say, okay, I'm switching out. So this is the Numinous by Cedar McLeod. Most folks are familiar with it. Again, it's a really lovely and inclusive deck. It touches all the bases that I mentioned. Sorry, I just had a little knocking over of Kuan Yin. Let me fix her. And so they, in this deck, they have, this is the suit of fire or wands, but they call it candles. Here's the star. Again, I'm just pulling randomly. Another candle, and then we have tomes. Here's the diviner as the high priestess. Vials for water. Here's the world card. So I think you can see this, for me, the art style was similar. So I was inspired by the Earthcraft Oracle to bring out the Numinous. And I really do love this deck quite a bit. And I hadn't used it in a while. So I was happy to pull it out. And I've been pulling for the second half of the Sacred Paws challenge. I've been pulling out one Numinous Tarot card and one Earthcraft Oracle card and reading them together. The Numinous has the Creator for the Courts, the Explorer, the Dreamer, and the Mystic. So that's where I'm at tarot-wise. And one of the things I've been learning from this Sacred Paws challenge is that I'm not pausing. I can remember back in the day before we had our devices, there were times when I would just sit down in the morning and drink my cup of tea. I didn't have a book. I didn't talk to anyone. I wasn't scrolling. I was just sitting there, kind of taking a breath, getting ready to meet the day. And so this challenge has made me realize that I don't pause enough. There's a lack of sacred pause in my life. So I'm working on that, and I'm trying to do more of that and make that a part of my life. So I'm working with the herbs to bring healing and wholeness in my life, and hopefully bringing some into other folks' lives. And I'm working with the tarot for that same purpose, to bring healing and wholeness into my life. And I hope this video finds you in a place of healing and wholeness, or at least working towards wholeness. Bright blessings and healing vibes to all of you.